Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your July 2022 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. So, Pisces, I'm super excited to jump in and see what July 2022 has in store for you. But I do want to share with you that intuitively I picked up on divine masculine energy as I was shuffling, and I was shown cards that would kind of confirm that, right? So I feel like you could be dealing with a lot of healing of your masculine energy this month, right? And that has a lot to do with confidence, inner strength, responsibility, focus, logic, being decisive, stable, having direction, knowing which direction you want to go, right? Feeling like you are protected and can protect others, gaining clarity, creating boundaries, having courage, being disciplined, feeling capable, certain, and assertive of who you are, right? So I feel like these are things that you may be working on this month, or that come up this month, for you to be able to heal and to essentially move more into the natural or divine masculine energy with those qualities and traits that I just shared with you, right? This is moving out of that energy of being confrontational, not like, so these all apply to yourself and how you interact with others as well, right? So not being confrontational or being criticizing of yourself or others, right? Not avoiding things that you feel or think, right? Stuff like that. Also, moving out of a more aggressive or controlling energy, right? And being unstable, like moving out of all of those types of energies of the shadow masculine, right? And I feel like these are things that could be coming up, or you could be triggered by, for healing for this month. Okay, so take that as it resonates with you. That may not be for everyone. This is not a personal reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's jump in and see what the cards have to say. We're going to be looking at a lot of things for you this month, Pisces. We're going to be looking at what activations may be taking place for you, how they might be showing up, getting some clarity on that, and then getting some angel prayers for you from your team as we wrap up the reading. So let's jump in and see what July has to offer for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what would you like Pisces to know about the activations taking place within them for July 2022, please? What activations might Pisces be experiencing this month? What does Pisces need to know, please? What activations might be taking place for Pisces this month? It does feel like there's a part of your energy that's closed off. I feel like you may be ignoring something, pushing something down, acting like, yep, that's what it is. That's why the cards weren't coming out, because as soon as I said something about it, boom, there it goes. It's like, oh, you caught me. And then your guard's let down. It's so funny. Just one card out for you. This is interesting. I have to share this with you, Pisces, because as I was shuffling this deck for you, I did get the word cut. And it's interesting. I should have shared it with you. I wish I would have, because you have the sort of light here, divine protection, cords cut, and breakthrough energy. It's pretty interesting. Just saying. How might this activation be showing up for Pisces this month, please? Okay. Is that it? Yep. All right. Can we have some clarity on how this might be showing up for Pisces, please? Clarity on how these activations might be showing up for Pisces. I almost feel like, okay, thank you. I almost feel like there's things here that you don't want to see. Right? Like, I feel like for some, there's this energy of, these are things I don't want to know. These are things I don't want to have to acknowledge. Right? They may be painful or traumatic for you in some way, shape, or form. What do Pisces angels want to say to them for the month? Okay. That one? Is there more? Yes. Okay. What do Pisces angels thank you? Is there more still? Yep. I'm getting that there, yeah. I feel like your angels have a lot. What else do Pisces thank you? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Your angels are like, yeah, actually, I have a lot to say. Is that it? Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right, Pisces, let's jump in and see what activations are showing up for you for this month. You have a you have Akashic records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. Again, that energy of like cords being cut, right? Releasing things. And I said, I felt like there were things that you didn't want to see or were pushing down, right? Didn't want to acknowledge. Maybe maybe these things are coming up, or they keep coming up because they're things that you need to acknowledge, right? I do feel like there are things potentially in your life that you've been feeding your energy to for a period of time that really may not be serving you. You may have thought that these things would bring you the freedom that you seek, or would bring you some alleviation, that's an interesting word, or some relief, some reprieve, some right from something, but I feel like it hasn't worked maybe in the way that you thought it would, right? Maybe it didn't play out the way you thought it would. And I feel like it's because there are things that you didn't deal with, right? It's like there's this energy here of like, you can't just ignore it. You can't just run away from it. Like, you can try, but it's going to keep resurfacing over and over and over again. And I feel like this is part of what you're healing and dealing with. For some of you, you may have been working on this, right, in your most recent past, which, as far as souls are concerned, your recent past could be 5 years ago. But I'm just saying, I feel like you are working on releasing things from the past, even potentially. I don't know why I'm getting this, you guys, but it feels like for some of you, you've been working on some form of addiction. It feels like for some of you, there's been this old story that you have repeatedly told yourself, and it's hindered your ability to feel free, like fully. I feel like there's some part of you that does feel that way, right? That does feel kind of like free amongst the world, as it were. But I feel like there's some part of you that there's something I feel that keeps coming up that's not really letting you be free. And it's because you're ignoring it. You're trying to pretend like it's not there when it truly is. And this could be anything, right? It could be anything. We'll see what the cards have, but it could be a job. It could be a relationship. It could be something that really isn't serving you. And there's also this energy here of something that you've been ignoring, right? And feeling like this thing that you've pursued or put your energy into should have helped you to move away from that, but it didn't. Maybe that's for somebody really specific, but that's what it feels like to me. I do feel like you may have found yourself triggered in the recent past or throughout this month because these things are coming up for you to release them, for you to become the alchemist and really transmute the energy into something that is beneficial or helpful for you as you move through your journey. Okay. So you can see here, there's like a book. Maybe you've been writing. I don't know who that's for, but maybe you've been writing things down. Maybe you've been keeping a journal, writing a biography or something, right? I feel like there's something here about like flipping through the pages, even if you haven't actually sat down and wrote things down or, kept a journal or anything like that. I feel like you're replaying things in your mind, or there's certain things that you're replaying in your mind, maybe things that you need to clear, or maybe things that that need your attention. Right? Let's see how this, let me hold on to that. Let's see how this might be showing up. You have the Great Mother, surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. This is interesting. It feels to me, Pisces, like there's something here that you need to deal with that maybe you've been, again, afraid of dealing with. Like, I don't know how the outcome's going to go. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know anything about anything, but I feel like this is part of you freeing yourself, right? Like, actually, it's interesting, like surrendering to what you want and not knowing what the outcome might be, right? Like, oh, I want to do this, and like, but I don't know, but let's like do it anyway. Right? Pisces does have that energy of being a little bit indecisive. And I feel like this is something that you're healing as well, right? Learning how to, it's interesting, like make a decision, but surrender to the outcome, right? Maybe that's why you've been ignoring this thing. Maybe you don't know what the outcome will be. Maybe you're worried about what the outcome will be. Maybe this has something to do with your mother, or a feminine energy, right? I don't, let's see here. What am I getting here? There could be things that you're releasing and clearing from your past that have to do with like your mother or a mother figure. Okay, for some of you, that's really interesting. But I do feel like there's a lot here for more of you that is more this energy of surrendering to what you don't know, like free yourself from having to know all the answers, or being indecisive because you're worried about what the outcome will be, or you don't know, or what have you, things like that. You also have here the crowning, initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. Okay, so for some of you, you may be coming into parenthood. Okay, you may be coming into parenthood. Maybe you are pregnant currently, or maybe you're expecting, right? I feel like for some of you, there is this energy here of an actual physical birth. But for others of you, I feel like this is your rebirth. That's the word I'm being pointed out to, like your rebirth, because there's an initiation here. And I feel like this is part of you really stepping into who you're supposed to be. It feels to me more like gaining that confidence in yourself in order to pursue what it is you truly want, right? Maybe this has something to do with a person. Uh, Maybe it's a person you have a child with or have thought about having a child with. Maybe that's what you've been pushing down or something. I don't know why I'm getting that, but it feels like there could be that kind of energy there that maybe you've been pushing things down about. But I do feel like this is more than anything about you really surrendering to the mystery of life, falling into the arms of the Great Mother, and allowing yourself to experience the freedom of like not running. Take it as it resonates with you, but that's what I'm picking up. It's like the freedom to do what I want and to pursue what I want without getting afraid, without needing to, I'm going to lovingly say this, be or experience that energy that Pisces do experience, or are known for experiencing rather, that energy of like the escapist, right? It feels to me like there's this energy of like dealing with the things. I don't know what this is about. Again, maybe you've been writing a book about these things that you're trying to deal with. I don't know, but it feels to me like there's this energy of gaining some sense of confidence, being decisive. Again, I got that energy of like the natural masculine or divine masculine. I think there's fear. I think I'm getting more fear energy, which manifests in me as like burpee energy. So I do apologize again, but there's this energy of like being fearful of making decisions, because I feel like you may be worried about what others may think, or maybe about the outcome. And this energy is saying like you have to let these things go. These are things that you have to deal with in order to grow, in order to move forward, right? And I feel like this is about you like taking that seat at the table, right? What is it that you want? If it's a relationship, like, oh, I'm going to sit down here because this is what I want. Or if it's a job or something, right? I'm going to sit here because this is what I want. I'm taking that seat at the table. But I feel like it's requiring you to choose the seat, if that makes sense. Like you have to actually pull the chair out and sit down. It's not just going to do it for you. That's how this is feeling. And I feel like whatever this is that you may have kind of been pushing down, I feel like this is a time for you to free yourself from it by acknowledging it, by allowing whatever it is to play out the way that it's going to play out. Because I do feel, again, this is an energy for you of being reborn, of experiencing life in a completely different way. Because I do feel, Pisces, that your past stories, the things that you told yourself or bought and sold as your own, which were told to you perhaps in childhood, maybe by your mother, those things, they're not your story. It's not your only story, right? It's not the story that you have to live by, right? You can free yourself from those beliefs, from those things that you've bought and sold as your own, and move into a new way of being. And I feel like this is what is trying to take place for you for the month of July. You have the Nine of Pentacles here with the tarot, and I do feel like you've been working on yourself. I feel like you've probably spent a lot of time by yourself. I feel like you've been trying to like, you may have been working a lot, but I feel like you've been trying to kind of It's interesting to me, Pisces, because it almost feels to some extent like some of you are like, I'm trying to get everything together that I need in order to make a move. Like maybe you're building your savings account or saving money or something, like building up that in order to make a move. That's, I don't know what that is. That's really weird. But not weird. It's not weird that you're doing it. It's just a weird energy. Okay. I haven't really picked that up from this card before, so it's interesting. I also feel here like the fruits of your labor with this Knight of Pentacles here and you working on yourself. I feel like surrendering to the mystery is going to really bring in some fruits of that labor, right? I feel like you're going to see that manifesting in your world as you do the work, as you start to surrender, as you start to free yourself from these things, right? I do feel like, again, there's to some extent, I feel like you've been working on yourself, but I feel like there's like some things that you avoid, or you know what I mean? Like ignore or push down. And I want to lovingly say that just because I've been talking about this divine masculine energy or the natural masculine or the shadow masculine does not necessarily mean that you have to be a male to be experiencing things or experiencing these things, excuse me. We hold both energies within us. And oftentimes we're meant to be trying to balance those out, even though we have one that we lean more predominantly toward. Okay. So I feel like this could apply to, you know, both sexes. It's not, or genders, right? It's not gender specific here, but I do feel like there's this energy of, it's almost like, am I enough? Do I have enough? Why do you not feel like you're enough, Pisces? Because I feel like there's this energy of like, I need to get all the things so that I'm enough, or I have enough, or something to do this thing. Right? It's almost like trying to wait for the perfect time. What else do we have here? Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. In the reverse, it's interesting because this is an energy. So in the upright, this is hard work, responsibility. Okay. In the reverse, it's the opposite. It's like not taking responsibility. It can also be like working without reward, which is interesting because the Nine of Pentacles is literally working for reward. It's rewards. It's like you doing the work and putting things in, right? But it feels to me like you may have felt like you've been doing a lot, but not getting what you want. Again, that energy of like not feeling like the things that you've been putting your energy into have given to you what you thought it would, right? So maybe you took a job thinking that it would help you to gain more control over your finances, but it hasn't. Maybe you've got out of one relationship and went into another thinking that that relationship would be better for you, but it isn't, right? It's like doing things that aren't rewarding to you. I also feel like there's an element here with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse about not taking responsibility, right, for pushing these things down. It's like ignoring them isn't taking responsibility for them. And I say that with so much love. We've all done it, Pisces. There's no judgment here, okay? But I just feel like this is something that is needing to be brought to your attention. Like, hey, and even so, right, sometimes even though we know things, like it takes somebody like calling us out in order for us to be like, shit, okay, fine, right? So maybe this is that for you. We have the Three of Cups here in the upright, which is an energy of friendship, community, and happiness. And I feel like this is what you've been trying to work toward. This is what you've been trying to accomplish or experience, right? This happiness. It feels like happiness is standing out predominantly for me here. There may be people that you attribute or connect to that happiness that you don't feel like you're connected with. I don't know why I'm getting that. But I feel like this is something that you've been trying to work toward, or you've thought about working toward, right? Even if it's, I don't know, it's weird to me, Pisces, because it feels like there's an element here of like, working towards your happiness, and that's really what you want. But it feels also like there's some element of that happiness that you're seeking that you're ignoring, and it may have something to do with other people. So for example, maybe you've bought and sold something from, let's say, your mother, right? You bought and sold this story that maybe your mother told you that's like, nobody's ever going to love you or something. I don't know. right? And if that is you, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But maybe that's something. And so you've been like, how do I word this? Like, not attributing the fact that you actually want somebody to love you as part of your happiness. Maybe you've always told yourself, like, I don't need that to be happy, which you don't need people to be happy. That's absolutely true. But I do feel like we need people. We need people. We're not meant to be solitary beings. And our soul plan that we created before we came here has a lot to do with the other souls that come in and out of our lives. So they have downloads and things for us to experience so that we can grow, right? So I feel like there's some part of this where you're like, I don't need people, but people being in your life is part of your happiness. Experiencing love and having your cup filled is part of happiness. And I feel like this is something you've either been ignoring or didn't factor in. Okay. You also have here the Page of Cups. This is a dreamer energy. Maybe you've been feeling like it's a dream that's too far out of reach. Like when pigs fly, all the things will be right. And I want to lovingly say that if you have been doing that, this is blocking your blessings. This is literally you rejecting any of that before it even makes its way to you. Like it'll never happen. It's out of reach. I can't do it. Right? I also feel here, so the Page of Cups is this energy of like a dreamer, of course. It's also an energy of sensitivity. And I feel like there's part of you, maybe that's the part of you that you don't like touching base with, or you feel like you touch base with too much or something and have been trying not to. But again, it feels to me like there's this energy here of like, maybe happiness is just out of my reach. Maybe love, maybe my cup's being filled, or having all the things at once is just out of my reach. And I want to lovingly say that's not true. You could be experiencing a happy surprise here with the Page of Cups coming in as well. Maybe for some of you, this is the birth of a child or something like that. But I feel for a lot of you, this is kind of like a wake-up call of like what your dreams are, what you really want, right? And I want like, I almost feel like you may be happily surprised by like, oh, that's the thing that's been keeping me from what I want, right? If you didn't realize it or whatever, right? Like it feels like there's also, let me just say this as well. The pages are youthful, more youthful energies, okay, or like inexperienced energies. And it's interesting to me that you have this birth or rebirth, and then this youthful energy coming in right underneath it. And I'm being drawn to the fact that it may be very possible that in order for you to really step into your happiness, to really experience this Three of Cups energy, there's a need here for you to be open about your dreams and be maybe a little bit like naive in believing like these things will happen for me, right? It's interesting. I feel like there could be a new energy coming in where you feel renewed. Maybe your faith is renewed, or maybe your positivity is renewed. Like, hey, this is the path I need to take in order to get the results I want. You have the Ten of Swords here in the reverse as well. Ten of Swords. So first of all, this is an energy of the mind. Okay. The 10 is also a number of completion or an end of a cycle, also renewal, right? Or like a rebirth. But the 10 of Swords specifically in the reverse is an energy of like going up from here, right? It can't get worse. We're moving up. Okay. The upright energy of the Ten of Swords is often attributed to like betrayal, backstabbing, defeat. But here's the thing. It's a swords energy. So I feel like it's in your mind. A lot of it, right? It's in your mind. And in the reverse, it's this energy of like, okay, things have happened. Like it really can't get worse, and choosing to move forward anyways. Right? Like it really can't get worse from here. So maybe this thing where you're like, that'll never happen. Like, you know, those dreams are out of reach. It's like, well, it can't get worse. It can only go up from here. Right? Because I feel like I don't know. There's an energy here of like, what if this is it? What if this is it? Right? And I feel like, well, it can't get worse. Right? Like you can go up from here. But I do feel like you're completing a cycle, or at least moving towards that through the month of July with that 10 there. I do feel like there's fear that needs to be released, though, about moving forward. I don't know what this is, Pisces. And pardon me, but it keeps coming up, like this fear around taking that next step. And it's like, you've got to take responsibility, right? You've got to take responsibility and put the work in where you're going to be rewarded, where happiness is going to follow, where dreams coming true is going to follow, where you feel like we're just moving on up. Like I'm leaving all of the things behind me that don't serve me, with that clearing old stories and releasing past lives, right? What do your angels want to say? You have Peaceful Warrior, Archangel Ariel. Thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. And here's the thing. I want to say, I feel like part of this card here is about you expressing your desires and following them, right? And those people or situations that you may find yourself experiencing where they're like judging you for making the decisions that you do, it's up to you to stand your ground peacefully and say, hey, look, this is what will make me happy. I really hope that you can see that and acknowledge that and accept it. This is what I need. This is what I want. And this is what will bring me happiness. This is what will bring me peace. Right? It's about really standing firm in what you want. And I feel like that's a big thing in regards to divine masculine energy or natural masculine energy, and healing that side of ourselves is being able to ask for what we want and stand firm in that without feeling guilty, without allowing others to shift us or move us or anger us because they don't agree. Okay, take that as it resonates with you. You have change and transition, Archangel Azrael. Thank you, Azrael, for leading me safely through this change. Yeah, know that you're protected. I feel like this may be very difficult for you, and I feel like this could be very challenging, but know like you have support from the angels. They're stepping forward to say, I am helping you with this change. If you feel like it's too much, if you feel like you don't know what's going on, if you feel like you don't know the next move, know that the angels are supporting you as you move through this rebirth process, right? Shedding this old life in exchange for something new. Yeah, I feel like there's a need for you to know like you're safe. You're always safe. Wow. So you do have divine feminine energy showing up here twice. We have unconditional love, the divine mother, and the great mother here, right? Thank you, divine mother, for helping me to give and receive the love I deserve. Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely, yes. I agree with that so much, because it feels to me like there's this energy of you, again, like pushing things down or not attributing things to your overall happiness. And I feel like part of that may have to do with love or some form of love, right? Unconditional love. Ooh, and my ear is like all of a sudden started hurting. My left ear, which is the masculine energy. So I feel like you're hearing things that may be, you know, a little painful to take responsibility for and acknowledge and understand and process. But here's the thing, like, I feel like this is part of you learning to ask for what you want and moving into a space where it's like, I deserve to be happy. And this is the thing that's going to make me happy, right? Thank you, Divine Mother, for helping me to receive the love I deserve, because I feel like, Pisces, you probably give it. Maybe not to everybody, but I feel like you do give love to people that you feel close to, right? And I feel like, but I feel like there's a part of you that rejects that love coming back to you because maybe you feel like you don't deserve it, right? And I feel like this is part of you sinking more into your happiness and understanding and realizing like, hey, you do deserve this. And this is part of your happiness, like experiencing unconditional love and receiving that, right? Like when you shut down to love, you block your blessings to more than just love. Whether that's with a partner, family, friends, whatever it is, when you tighten up to people, you tighten up you tighten up also the ability for divine source, divine father, divine mother, the universe, the creator, God, whatever you call it, to connect with you, to bring in the blessings that you asked for. You shut down to it as well, because that is what the divine creator is unconditional love. That is what we are as souls at our very core. Love, unconditional love. Right? And even the people you've had experiences with here on this planet, your mother, perhaps this is something you're healing right now, right? But let's say your mother was not nice to you, right? And you experienced a lot of trauma in your childhood or something, or there was a woman in your life who just really took you for a spin, right? I feel like I need to share with you, these are things that you create as part of your soul plan before you incarnate here. You ask these souls, or these souls ask you to have this exchange, this experience for you to grow, right? So I feel like there's a need here to maybe bring in some forgiveness around that mother energy for some of you, and understand like you asked them to treat you the way that you've been treated so that you can grow, so that you can fulfill your soul plan, right? And if you're resonating with this, if you're like, oh, right, or intrigued by it or something, this is in no way sponsored, okay? I just want to share that. But there's a book called Your Soul's Plan by, oh gosh, Robert Schwartz or something like that. That I actually read a good portion of this. I haven't finished yet, but it goes into these sorts of things, like how you create these plans before you incarnate here and what that kind of looks like. And it is shocking to say or to understand, like, some souls, for example, yours may have had a conversation with the soul that would be your mother in this lifetime, or your mother figure in this lifetime. And you said, hey, I need you to do this, 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 and this. And they're like, wait a minute, I love you. I don't want to do that to you. That's not nice. That's not love. That's mean. I don't want to do that. And you're like, listen, though, I need you to do this because I have to grow in this way and this way. And I have to learn this. And they're like, okay, I'll do it because I love you and because you asked me to. Oftentimes they'll even sacrifice a bit of their own growth so that you can grow, right? Staying stuck where they are. I'm just saying. So I feel like this may be something for some of you that you need to take into consideration, or should possibly look into taking into consideration. Okay. You have here Shine Your Light, Archangel Uriel. Thank you, Uriel, for helping me to share my light with the world. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting, Pisces, because I feel like for many of you, you probably are well received, we'll say, by other people. You probably don't have a lot of trouble connecting with others, or, just sparking up conversation with strangers or things like this. And I feel like you do share your light in that way, right? But I feel like when it comes to people being really close to you, like really, really close to you, I'm talking like the nitty gritty, intimate things that most people don't share with, but a few, very, very few people. I feel like there's part of you that shuts that light down, right? Like, I can't let you know my whole truth because oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I just got this energy of like, I can't share my whole truth with you because it's very broken in here. And I feel like there's this energy of like, I don't want you to see me broken. I don't want you to know I'm broken. And it's interesting. I don't know what this is, because it feels like for some of you, you're like, you will admit that to people. Like, I don't know all the things. Like, I'm a little bit broken. I'm a little bit whatever, damaged goods, as it were, or something. But it feels like, how do I word this, please? When that manifests into your physical reality, okay? So let's say you're like, I'm broken. That's the story that I bought and sold, and I'm going to keep selling it. I'm broken. I'm broken. I'm broken. If somebody comes in and shows you this love, and you start to think, maybe I'm not broken. Maybe it just takes somebody really special, right? Maybe I've just been needing to wait for this person. It feels to me like you shut down, right? Because it's like, I don't know any other way of being. I don't know any other way of being. So I feel like this is really about you kind of really acknowledging your light, because I feel like there are people who do try to show you love, unconditional love at that. And I feel like you may deny that. You may be like, I can't accept this love. I'm sorry. And I feel like when you start to let that in, and you start to let people like roam around the murky depths of your soul and decide for themselves how they feel about you, versus you making that decision for them so that they can't hurt you or, you know, bring about any pain or suffering. It's interesting. I want to share with you, Pisces, like I just felt called. I have this little, I have a lot of little things to help me with readings that I've been learning. And just off to the side over here, I have this information on Pisces, and it says pain in the sole of the foot as a sign of an aching soul. And as I was reading this, shining your light into the world, that drew my attention. And I feel like there's a reason. If you've been experiencing foot pain, this is part of your soul that needs tendering, that love, that nurturing, that connection, that you being able to be who you are in all of your glory, all of your truth, all of your everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, every bit of it, right? Like needing to be in that truth. Because I feel your soul is like, oh, this is not who we're supposed to be. And I think you know that to some extent. You also have here transformation, Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Zadkiel, for supporting me to transform from my past challenges. This is basically God saying, I said what I said. You have past things that you are releasing, and I have sent help for you. The angels are surrounding you. You have this support, right? You have the angel of transformation, Archangel Zadkiel, and the angel of change and transition, right? Archangel Azrael. These are angels that are around you, supporting you and helping you to move through this energy should you allow them to. I feel like even if you don't know that that's what's going on, they're helping. You might get drops of information that are coming in, or for some of you, if this is related to love, for example, or to your mother, for example, you may get things that drop in like, why am I all of a sudden thinking about my mom? Or why did I just feel like I smelled her smell? Or why did I just see somebody who looked exactly like my mom or like this person, right? Or why am I dreaming about that person, right? Like these things are being shown to you, because they're trying to say, like, this is how we transform. This is the energy that we need to transform. This is what needs to be healed. This is what's calling your, yes, thank you. This is what's calling your soul. And I feel like all of this is to help you to grow or step into who you're supposed to be, so that you can shine and share your light with the world, because I feel like part of your mission here is doing so, right? It's doing so. You have the inner voice. Thank you, angels, for guiding me through my inner voice. Yeah, I was just saying that. Like, I feel like your angels are telling you, like, hey, why am I all of a sudden thinking about this person? Why did I hear this song that reminded me of that person or that situation or whatever it is? Your inner voice is speaking to you. And as a Pisces, you're likely very intuitive anyways. So if you don't hear it, it's because you're choosing not to, right? But I feel like following your inner voice, right? Using your discernment and your intuition, I feel like is what is going to help you to really experience something new. You also have here, yes, I just said you're intuitive, right? You're the mystical energy. You have spiritual gifts. Archangel Raziel. Thank you, Raziel, for helping me channel my gifts and talents. I'm just saying, I feel like you are intuitive. I feel like you know that. I feel like you pick up on the signs and synchronicities. I feel almost like they're bombarding you. And I feel like there's some of you that have literally put your hands up like, oh my gosh, this is what? Like, how is this happening? Right? Why? Or something. Like, it just feels like you're like, this keeps happening. I keep thinking of this person. I keep being reminded of this situation, my mother maybe, or a lover or something. And I do think it brings about a little bit of fear in you, because I feel like it's a bit overwhelming, right? I feel like you may have even said, like, can we just stop with this already? Like, I feel like some of you have even said that out loud. Like, why do we keep experiencing these things? Right? But I want to say, I find it fascinating that on each end here, okay, on the table, on each end, you have angels that are holding their hand up. Right? And I feel like part of this is because you've been blocking your own blessings, and part of this is because you've been closed off, right? You haven't been opened up. You've been like with your hands up, like blocking or being closed off to what you know to be true. And everything in between here says, right? Everything in here in between here says, like, you're going through change, you're going through transformation. This is about you learning how to give and receive love that you deserve. This is about you learning how to shine your light and step into your light and lower those boundaries, or not really boundaries, but lower those walls, essentially letting your light out, letting your love out, letting others light in, and letting others love in as well. You do have here Sword of Light, Divine Protection, Quartz Cut, Breakthrough Energy at the bottom of the deck. And I feel like this is, first of all, this is Archangel Michael showing up for you, letting you know that you're protected, letting you know that he is leading the charge, as it were, and helping you to release these past lives and clear these stories, right? I do feel like this is what's happening, and I do feel like you're on the verge of a breakthrough should you choose to take action, right? Should you choose to make decision. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it feels to me like, again, I feel like some of these cords being cut for some of you have to do with like some kind of substance, like freeing yourself from that, right? From like drowning out the pain, or ignoring the pain, or ignoring what you know to be true. Okay. You also have here the bud, potential, promise, it's about to happen, keep going. Yeah, a breakthrough, right? It's there, you're nearly there. But again, you have to choose. Like, and this is what I think you don't see coming. I think it's like, this is the thing that's been keeping me held back, right? I feel like for some of you, this may be a bit of a surprise, again, with that Page of Cups energy, like a bit of a surprise, like, oh, this is the thing that's been keeping me stuck, or this is the thing that has prevented me from really experiencing what I want to. Right. But I do feel like you're right there. It's about to happen, right? You have this energy of like breakthrough energy, or it's about to happen. And then here's an energy here of like, keep going, right? I do feel like this has been a challenge for you with the 5 of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. I feel like it's been a challenge for you. I feel like you've essentially been fighting with yourself. Okay. Because the 5 of Wands is an energy of competition and conflict. It's also an energy of like reality, right? And I feel like you've been in competition with yourself, or you've been in conflict with yourself over the things that you're feeling, over the things that light your fire, honest, or could. I also feel here, so the 5 of Wands is also this card. There's another reader, Middle Pond Tarot, and he refers to the 5 of Wands as like a training card, like the Indiana Jones card. Like, you're just rushing in, like doing the things, experiencing the things, you're gaining experience without really, I don't know, like having any sort of like plan, really, right? It's like training grounds. Like, I often see this as like, you know, like American Ninja Warrior training or something. Like, I feel like the things that you are experiencing here, what you don't know is this is helping to grow you. It's helping for you to learn and expand. It's helping for you to essentially have the training that you've needed in order to move forward, so that when you do move into the next stage or the next leg of your journey here on planet Earth, you're ready. You know what needs to be done. You know the things that need to happen. You know what paths you need to take. You know, right? You've learned all the things that you've experienced, Pisces, in this lifetime have caused you to learn and prepare for what comes next, right? What happens throughout the remainder of your life. All of the things you've experienced have led you to this point, so that you can move into shining your light on the world and experiencing genuine happiness, fulfillment, right? Knowing what it takes to achieve those things, knowing what it takes to pursue them, to really bring into your reality what it is you actually want. Okay. And I feel like You may have been growing a bit weary. You may have been feeling like giving up. You may have been feeling like you don't have confidence or that you're overwhelmed and like don't know how to make things happen. Clear your vibes. Archangel Metatron, thank you, Metatron, for clearing my energy field. You have clearing old stories here as well. So I feel like when you release this energy and you surrender, I feel like you're going to feel a change. When you stop fighting yourself, you're going to feel differently, I feel. Okay? So this is really beautiful. Oh, look at this. You have trust your vibes here at the bottom as well. It says here, thank you, angels. Today I choose to trust my intuition and your guidance. You guys, I could not have said that better myself, because I feel like this is exactly what's happening, right? Again, as soon as you clear out that energy, being decisive and making decisions towards what it is that will make you happy, again, I feel like you're going to be led to something much better, likely balance. Okay, you're going to feel more balanced, feel like you're able to shine your light and move forward experiencing happiness. So that is what I have for you for the month of July 2022, Pisces. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me. I truly am so very, very grateful for you. I would like to say, if anything in this reading resonated with you or you found it valuable or helpful, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow, and I truly am so very grateful for it. So thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful month. Know that you can trust yourself. Know that you can trust your angels and trust the process. Let these things go so you can experience true, genuine happiness. Know that you've got this and God's got you. Take care of your beautiful soul, and I hope to see you on the next one.